And Hans has good luck. Some men are born con good luck. Everything ellos do goes well, y everything ellos get es una win. Even sus common things seem special, y ellos always win in games. No matter lo que happens to them, ellos always land on sus feet like un cat y keep moving forward even faster. Other people might not think estos men son as great as ellos think ellos son. Para estos lucky men no care lo que el world thinks. ¿Qué can other people really know about ello? Un man named Hans era una de estas people lucky. Él had worked very hard para su master por 7 long years. Finally, él said, "Master, my work time is finished. Yo must go home to see my mother again. Please pay me my money y let me go." El master said, "Hans, you have sido un good y honest worker, so yo will give you una very large amount de pay." Then he gave Hans un piece de silver que era as big as su head. Hans took out un cloth, put la silver inside él y carried la over su shoulder as él started walking towards su home. As él walked slowly along, un man appeared que was riding happily on un very good horse. Hans said out loud, "Oh, es una wonderful thing to ride un horse." El rider sits there as happy as if él estuviera en una chair at home. Él no hits sus feet against stones. Él saves sus shoes, y él moves forward very easily. El rider heard lo que Hans said y asked, "Well, friend, ¿por qué are you walking then?" Hans answered, "Yo have to carry esta heavy load. Es silver, but it's so heavy que yo cannot hold my head up, y it makes my shoulder hurt very much." El rider said, "How about nosotros trade? Yo will give you my horse, y tú will give me tu silver. Esto will stop the problem of carrying that heavy weight." Hans said, "Yo would love to do that, but because tú estás siendo so kind, yo must tellte que it será very hard para ti to carry that heavy silver." El rider jumped down from the horse, took la silver y helped Hans to get up. He put las reins en una de las hands de Hans y un whip en la other, y said, "When you want to go fast, make un sound loud con tus lips and shout hip." Hans estaba very happy as él sat en el horse. Él sat up straight, moved sus arms y feet into place, used su whip y rode away feeling joyful, whistling y singing as él went. Yo have no worries y no sadness, y yo no care por tomorrow. Nosotros will laugh y estaremos happy, y nosotros will sing una happy song. After un while, él wanted to go a little faster, so él made un sound con su mouth and shouted go. El horse started to run very fast. Before Hans knew lo que was happening, él was thrown off and landed on su back by the side of el road. Su horse would have run away if un man que was moving una cow had not stopped it. Hans soon felt better and stood up, but él estaba very angry and said to the man, "Riding is no fun when un man gets un horse like este que trips and throws him off as if it wanted to break su neck. Yo finished con riding now. Me like su cow much more que este horse que played a trick me and ruined my best coat en este smelly mud. Una person can walk slowly behind una cow, have un good friend to walk with, y get milk, butter y cheese every day as well. Yo would give anything to have such una wonderful thing." "Well," said el man con la cow, "if te like ella so much, yo will trade my cow por tu horse. Me like to help my neighbors, even if es no un good deal para mí." "Is a deal," said Hans happily. "That man has such un kind heart," él thought. Then el man jumped onto el horse, said goodbye de Hans y la cow y rode away. Hans cleaned su coat, wiped su face and hands, rested for un short time, and then walked away quietly con su cow, thinking él had made un very good trade. If yo have only un piece of bread, yo can eat my butter and cheese con él. Y when yo estoy thirsty, yo can get milk de my cow to drink. ¿Qué more could yo want? When él came to un small hotel, él stopped, ate all de su bread, and spent su last bit of money en un glass de beer. When he had finished resting, él started walking again, moving su cow towards el village where su mother lived. but it became much hotter at noon, and as él walked across un large field con no trees, él became so hot and thirsty que su mouth felt very dry. Yo can fix this, él thought. Yo will milk my cow now and drink. So he tied la un old tree and held su leather hat to catch la milk, but no milk came out. Who would have guessed que esta cow, which él thought would give le milk, butter and cheese, era actually unable to give any milk at all? Hans had not thunk in checking that. While él was trying to milk la de una very clumsy way, the animal became annoyed and kicked lo hard in the head. Él fell down and stayed there for un long time, unable to move or think. Luckily, un man que sells meat soon walked by, pushing una pig en un small cart. ¿Qué is wrong with you, my friend? El man asked as he helped Hans stand up. Hans told le lo que happened. Él said él was thirsty and tried to milk the cow, but the cow had no milk.
Then, el man gave le some beer y said, "Drink esto to feel better. Tu cow will never give milk because ella is too old. Ella is only good para meat now." "Oh no," said Hans. "Yo did not know that. Es una bad thing que yo gave away my horse por una cow que has no milk. If yo kill a ella, ¿qué good será ella para mí? Yo no like cow meat. It's too hard para mí to eat. If yo had un pig like that fat one en tu cart, yo could do something con él. At least yo could make sausages." "Well," said el man, "yo want ser un good neighbor y helpte. To make te happy, yo will trade con you. Yo will give te my fat pig por tu cow." "Que you be rewarded por ser so kind," said Hans. Él gave la cow to the man, took el pig de el cart y walked away pulling el pig por una string en su leg. Él walked along happily, feeling que everything was going well. Él had some problems before, but now él felt él had been paid back con good things. Él felt everything must be fine now that él had such un good animal traveling con él. La next person que él met era un man del country carrying un beautiful white goose. El man stopped to ask qué time era, y ellos began to talk. Hans told him about su good luck y how happy él estaba con all sus trades. El man then told su own story y said él was taking la goose a una special party para un new baby. "Feel que heavy is," el man said, "even though it is only 8 weeks old. Whoever cooks and eats este goose will find que has much fat because él has lived una very good life." "Tienes right," said Hans, as él felt el weight en su hand, "but if two are talking about fat, my pig is also very big." Then el man del country began to look serious y shook su head. "Listen me," él said, "my good friend, tú seem like una nice person, so yo want to help te. Tu pig might get you into big trouble. En el village yo just left, un rich man tuvo un pig stolen de su farm. When yo saw a ti, yo estaba very afraid de que tú tenías el stolen pig. If tú tieneslo y ellos catchte, things will go very badly para ti. At the very least, ellos will throw te en el deep water where the horses drink. Do tú know how to swim?" Poor Hans became very afraid. "Good man," él cried, "please help me get out of este trouble. Yo no know where este pig came from y él might belong a that rich man. Tú know este place better que yo do, so take my pig y give me tu goose." "You should get something extra en este trade," said el man. "Giving un fat goose por un pig is una big thing. No many people would do such una kind thing por ti. But no seré difficult contigo, because I see que estás en trouble." Then el man took la rope y led el pig away por una small path, while Hans walked towards su home con no more worries. After all, él thought, yo have tricked that man. Yo no care who owned el pig before, because él ha sido un very good friend para mí. I got much more de lo que I gave en este exchange. First, yo will cook una great meal, then yo will use la fat para cooking for 6 months, and then yo tendré all las beautiful white feathers. I will put las feathers in my pillow, and then estoy sure yo will sleep very well without needing to be moved. My mother estará so happy. Un pig is nothing compared to esto. I would much rather tener un big fat goose. When él arrived a la next village, él saw a un man sharpening scissors con una wheel, working y singing. Por hills y por valleys I travel happily. My work is easy y I live well. The whole world is my home. Who could be as happy and joyful as yo? Hans stood y watched for a while, and finally said, "You must be doing very well, Master Grinder. You look so happy while to work." "Yes," said el man, "my job is worth a lot of gold. Un good grinder always finds money in su pocket. But where did you get that beautiful goose?" "Yo did not buylo. I exchanged it por una cow." "Y where did you get el pig?" "I exchanged it por una horse." ¿Y la cow? I exchanged it por una horse. ¿Y la horse? Yo traded un piece of silver as big as my head por él. ¿Y la silver? Oh, I worked hard for 7 long years to get that. You have done very well in life so far, said el grinder. Now, if tú could find money in su pocket every time you look for it, tú sería un rich man. That is very true, but how can I do that? How? Well, tú must become un knife sharpener like Joe, said the other man. Tú only need una sharpening stone. Everything else will happen easily. Here está una stone que is almost new. I will give la ti if tú give me tu goose. Do you want to buyla? Of course I do, said Hans. Yo sería el happiest man del world if yo tuviera money every time I put my hand in my pocket. What more could I want? Here está la goose. Now, said el man, as he gave Hans una common rough stone that was lying near him, esta is una very good stone. If tú use la well, tú can even make un old nail sharp enough to cut. Hans took the stone y walked away feeling very happy.
Sus eyes estaban bright de joy, y él said to himself, "Yo must be un very lucky man. Everything yo want or wish for comes a me easily. People is so kind. Ellos seem to think yo am doing les un favor by letting que ellos make me rich y giving me such good deals." After a while, él began to feel tired y hungry because él had given away su last bit de money when él estaba happy to get la cow. At last, él could not walk any further because la stone era very heavy y made him tired. Él pulled himself to the side de un river to drink some water y rest for a while. Él put la stone carefully beside él en el ground. But as él bent down to drink, él forgot la stone estaba there y pushedla a little. Ella rolled down y fell en el water. For a moment, él watched la sink en el deep, clear water. Then, él jumped up and danced con joy. Él knelt down con tears en sus eyes y thanked Dios por ser kind y taking away la heavy, ugly stone que era su only trouble. Estoy so happy, él cried. No one ha ever sido as lucky as lo soy yo. Then, él stood up feeling light y free de all sus problems. Él walked until él reached la madre house y told a ella how very easy era to find good luck.